Hi everyone, I am a hairstylist that is specialized in cutting, coloring, caring, styling, natural curly and coily hair, and I am based in New York City. I used to travel back and forth to Montreal, but you know, times are different now. My last video was uploaded in January of 2019. So I figured as my first video being back on YouTube should be just to give you guys an insight on what has been going on since the last time I uploaded a video, just to give you guys a timeline to let you know where I'm at right now. I'm gonna start right away with January 2019. At that time, I was renting a chair in Tribeca in New York City, and it was in a small studio. It wasn't one of those salons where you can see it on the street. It wasn't a brick and mortar. It wasn't a building. Kind of like a suite situation, but it wasn't really a suite for beauty professionals. It was just for like artists. It was great. I was renting a chair twice a week, and everyone that was working there was awesome. There was a TV, and I had my own chair, so I didn't have to always carry my stuff with me, which is what I was doing before, which I did for like 2 months with Sheer, which is great, but just walking around with all your hair tools gets annoying after a couple of weeks, especially when you don't have a car. The only thing that I did not like about this location, because by the way, the location was amazing, as in like where it was very central, because literally anyone, whether it was Jersey, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Bronx, it was very accessible. But the only thing I did not like about this place was the water pressure, and I wash all of my clients' hair, so the water pressure was horrible. The sink was always clogged because the plumbing wasn't really made for hair. It was pretty much for art. So that's why there was that problem. I like to offer retail, and even though, yeah, I could offer it, people didn't really know about it because I had to hide it because I did not have a lot of storage. So those were the two things that was annoying to me, but everything else it was great. So since January 2019, I've been looking for a spot where I could have, I didn't know what it was, whether it was a suite, my own salon, or just another chair rental situation. I just knew that, especially because of the sink, I needed to be somewhere else at some point. In January, I did not travel to Montreal. I came back because when I posted my last video, I came back from Montreal a couple of days prior. So January and February, I did not go to Montreal. I took a break because Montreal is really cold during those months, and I went back in March. So my plan was to go back to Montreal monthly still, and by the time April rolled around, that's when my clientele started building a lot in New York City. The reason why I was only working twice a week in New York is because I did not have a lot of clients. So spring came around and started getting more and more clients, and I started realizing like, okay, I can't travel to Montreal as much as I used to because now the demand is starting to pick up. So I think it was in April I decided that instead of going to Montreal once a week, instead of going to Montreal once a month, I was gonna go once a quarter, so once every 3 months. And I decided that I was going to start in June. So I went to Montreal in March, April, May, June. In July, I started to work 3 days a week. And I also did not go to Montreal in July. In August, September, I went back to Montreal, and things started to pick up more in September 2019. October, November, I stayed here in New York City, and then I went back for the holidays. When I went to Montreal for the holidays, I literally went December 26th and I came back December 31st. During that week, I decided to randomly Google salon suites in New York City, which I would never do because there's two that are very popular that everyone knows of, which is Salons by JC and Sola Studios, Sola Salon Suites, I think. Obviously, every time I would Google, those two would come up, but I knew those places, I know the prices, it was not in my budget. One day, I'm just Googling salon suites, and one pops up in Harlem, and I look into it, and I was like, I did not know there were salon suites in Harlem. So I do my research, and I find out that they had just opened in summer of 2019. When I found the place, it was literally like a couple of days before 2020. So I sent out an email, they responded back, I think the 2nd of January, and literally the first Monday of 2020, I went and visited the salon suites, which are by Phoenix. Because it was a new situation, I figured, you know what, let me go visit the other 2 suite companies just to make sure that I'm making the right decision. So that week I went to the Phoenix, I went to Sola, and I went to Salons by JC. Phoenix was definitely the winner. It was in my budget. That week I gave my deposit, and I was supposed to open in February, but I ended up opening a little sooner because when I told the salon owner where I was at in Tribeca, he was like, this is great, I actually wanted to leave, but I was just keeping the salon open for you so you had a place to stay at, which I'm super grateful for. Because he didn't have to do this. So because he had to leave before a new month started, which was February, I had to move in earlier than expected, which was end of January. That's what happened. I have my own suite. I moved here in summer of 2017. I started working for myself in June 2018, and I definitely did not think that in less than 2 years I'd be able to have my own suite. Like, I thought it was going to take me years, especially in a city like New York City. I keep looking here, but I forget that the camera's there. I'm super happy that I have my own suite. This has been a dream of mine since like 2012, before I even knew that one day I was going to be moving to the States. I'm super happy with it. I'm definitely going to give you guys a tour. Oh, I forgot to talk about what happened after I opened the suite. I went to Montreal in December. My plan was to go back in March and literally do 2 full weeks of working there, and that was going to be my last time going there to do hair for a really long time. And then my plan was to go back once in a while to give classes to customers and also for professionals. And literally the day that I was supposed to leave is the day that salons in New York City got shut down. Needless to say, I didn't go to Montreal. We were shut down in New York City for 3 months and a half. Actually 3 months. I decided to go in 2 weeks after. I've been open ever since. It was, I wouldn't say it's been busy because I can't book like I used to. Even though I'm getting there, there's still some restrictions. I hired 2 assistants to help me out. I'm very grateful. I've heard horror stories of stylists that have clients that just keep on no-showing and canceling at the very last minute, and so far I haven't had anything like that. I figured I would just take the risk and hire now so that at least if ever the second wave happens and we close down and we be open again, I'm at least gonna have 2 assistants that were trained by me. So that's the way that I see it. But anyways, that's about it. I'm definitely gonna give you guys a tour of my suite and talk to you guys about like all the things that I got from my suite, what was included. I also want to do a Q&A video because a lot of you have been asking me questions since I posted my last video in January 2019. So I definitely want to do a video where I just answer your comments. So if ever you have a question that you want to ask me, feel free to leave it down below. During the quarantine, I wanted to film, but honestly, I was enjoying quarantine as much as possible because that was definitely the first time that I was off for this long in years. So I definitely enjoyed it. I will see you soon, okay? I will make sure that it doesn't take me another year and a half to upload another video. I appreciate all the love, and I'll talk to you soon.